Hi, my name is Michelle Liddy. Welcome to Living a Limitless Life. I help people connect to a positive self-identity for growth and expansion in all areas of our life. Okay, thank you for being here today, because today we're going over part 3 in my series of identity, self-identity shaping. And I wanted to go back to what we talked about last week and about, the how-to and the beliefs and how beliefs get anchored in, because I want you to refer to this same process for this week's video, and to keep in mind about how beliefs get anchored in by the meanings that we give it, the agreements that we're in agreement with, and the attachments we have to it, and the stories we tell ourselves to make that belief true for us. And if you want a more in-depth explanation, take a look at last week's video and I go over that in detail. So this is the same process or how-to of thinking that we're going to use for the next section, which is part 3. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this, our relationship to ourself and relationships, and some negative beliefs that we can hold, and then how to, what positive beliefs we can change that into. I do want to say, be gentle with yourself in this process. It takes some time to really embody and embrace new beliefs about ourselves, about the world, about situations in our life, and everything we are, our self-identity, we live out to what we think and feel about ourselves. So if we feel we're not capable of something, we won't be capable of it. But if we raise our belief to thinking that we are capable, then we will be capable of whatever that is that we want in our lives. So one of the negative beliefs that I will start with is failure defines my abilities. And that really isn't true. A positive belief is failure is the entryway to a new level of yourself. It's a course correction. So I don't really like to look at things as failures. I like to look at them as, mini breakthroughs. It's a course correction to the direction of getting in alignment with how to do something, or, learning a new skill set or whatever it may be. And I, put my thoughts about failure. Failure, everything you want is on the other side of failure. And failure is bumping up against your limitations. So when you fail at something, it's more just bumping up a limitation of what you don't know. And so once you know it, you get to that next level of breakthrough. And here's, you may be here with limitation, or quote, a failure. And then, when you learn how to do it, you have a breakthrough to get to the next level. And then, you may bump up against another limitation, and you keep getting to new levels of breakthrough anytime you come up against, quote, some type of failure or a course correction. You're learning something in order to get to that next level within yourself. Number 2, I'm not capable of achieving my goals. So that has to do with, if you don't feel capable in achieving your goals, there's a disconnect with your self-love, your self-worth, your self-acceptance. And that's something I went over in last week's video that you want to, address or look at. To really, there's some disconnect within ourselves that we feel that we're not capable of achieving our goals. And you want to change that into, I trust my ability to learn and adapt. Because it's not that you're capable, it's just that you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to achieve this goal. So there may be skill sets that you need to learn. You may need a mentor to help mentor you, and a mentor can come in different ways, through books, through videos, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be a specific person that you go meet in person. Mentors can come in many different ways to learn what you need to learn to get to that next level of learning what you need to in order to achieve your goal. So number 3, I must risk it all, in order to get to that next thing that you want for yourself. You don't have to take a lot of risks. Risk is actually not knowing how to do something, or not knowing something about something. So the more that you get to know how to do something, it's a less of a risk. So look at it as a risk is being a learning. You're learning something new and you take the risk factor out of it, and once you learn it, it doesn't feel like a risk anymore. You go and do it. Whatever that may be, a new job, a risk to go meet somebody, but once you're like, I'm just learning about this person. Let me go meet them. If you're, out dating or something, let me go learn and just get interested in what they like, what they don't like, what they do, see if we connect, and it's not much of a risk of putting yourself out there. So number 3 is obstacles are, and the positive part of that is obstacles are temporary. My vision is permanent. So the risk is temporary. It's something until you get familiar with it, until you get to learn it. And then it becomes permanent, meaning that you go out there feeling more confident and comfortable, not seeing things as a risk, but seeing it as a learning, seeing it as getting to know something that I don't know, and allow yourself to do that. So number 4, people will judge me if I fail. I had this big time. I felt like I was going to be judged for putting myself out there, for speaking my opinion, for doing these YouTube videos. I didn't do YouTube videos for many years. I was in the thought of wanting to do them for many years, but didn't do it because I was so scared of being judged. And then I changed that perspective. So you change it to more is I attract positive, like-minded people in my life. It's not people are gonna, so I don't lead with I'm gonna be judged. I lead with I'm gonna connect to the right people who want to hear the material or the value that I put out there. And so I take that, factor of I'm going to be judged or criticized. Well, I would lead with that. I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be criticized. Somebody's not going to like me. Oh, did I say the right thing? Instead of leading with, I'm going to connect with the right people who want to hear what I have to say and leave it at that and not really put that judgment on myself. 5, I can't rely on others. They'll disappoint me. I had a huge feeling about this, that I felt like I couldn't rely on others because they'll disappoint me. And that came from growing up with my mom. I would get so excited to go somewhere and she'd go tomorrow, after work tomorrow. And I kept waiting day after day, and every day I would get disappointed and I stopped getting excited about things because I thought I was trying to save myself from the pain and hurt of being disappointed. And that's not true. People aren't, you can rely on people, you can trust people. Not everybody is going to disappoint you, but you also have to be a person that's reliable and trustworthy and not disappointing others as well, so you can attract that into your life. And turning that into a more positive perspective is I attract loving, reliable people who support me and my vision. I build trusting, accepting relationships with people. And so you lead more with a positive perspective of that positive expectation of what you will receive instead of leading with that negative expectation. And I led with that negative expectation so much in my life. And what did I get? Negative results. Because I expected that. And then I looked for things to prove that that is going to happen to me. And you can really change that perspective into I'm leading with this is going to happen for me, and positive, good things are going to happen to me. And if something negative was happening, I'd be like, oh, okay, I wasn't defining myself by it, like, oh, I'm not worthy of this. That's why this bad thing's happening. It's like, this thing's happening, but I'm redirecting my focus over here that good things are going to happen. So number 6 is I'm not deserving of success. And that was a huge thing that I had. I just felt like I wasn't deserving of it. Like I had to meet some expectation to be deserving of it. And that is not true. You're deserving of good things in your life. And success can mean anything for many different people. It doesn't have to be a specific financial success. It could be success in relationship. It could be success in learning a new skill set. It could be success in so many different ways. It could be success in being creative. And it could be success in taking on a new perspective or a new belief, positive belief for yourself. So success can be measured in many different ways. And, success is the result of persistence and not giving up. Success, I don't believe in luck. I don't know where I heard this, but years ago, luck is when you're preparing for that opportunity to present itself. And when that presents itself, you're prepared to go with it. It could be a job opportunity, or it could be, meeting somebody. You're prepared emotionally to meet now this person who's healthy because you're healthy. It's preparing yourself for these moments, so when they appear, you're not going to be like, I'm going to get ready for it. You're like, I am ready for it right here and right now. So that is a little bit about, negative beliefs we can hold about ourselves and career, and then turning those into more positive, anchored core beliefs about ourselves in career. And so the next thing we're going to move into is now our self in relation to our spiritual connection. So some of these, spirituality can be different things for different people. Mine is as God and the God of Abraham, and your spirituality can be something else, the universe, whatever that may be. But some of these negative spiritual perspectives can play out in different spiritual perspectives. And one of them is, I don't deserve to be loved or forgiven forgiven for the mistakes that I've made. Like, the mistakes that I've made are so bad that they can't be forgiven. I'm not even going to try. That is so not true. You can think of it in a perspective as every day is a new day to choose a new way. That rhymes, huh? Every day is a new day to choose a new way. You're already forgiven forward for the mistakes that you've already made. And so you can choose in this day, in this moment, to be and attach yourself to a new you. And that is on all the previous couple of videos that I've done the last few weeks, and just all of my videos. We can choose to shape into a new identity every day. So mistakes are of the past. Right now we have this moment to start creating our future moments. 2, the universe or God's angry with me. A lot of people have this. I don't particularly have this one because I feel we have free choice, and God gives us free choice to choose what we want to have in our lives or do in our lives. And so if we keep choosing not good things or unsupportive things that give us negative results, we have a choice to choose that and start choosing good things that give us good results. Now that choice can take a little bit of time, or it can go against the way that we're used to feeling or being, and start choosing, instead of choosing negative things that we may be used to, start choosing positive things. And that takes a little bit of a process to step into that. I am, it's changing to a perspective of I am forgiven and free to move forward with peace. You're forgiven. So hold that perspective and choose a new positive way to do things. Choose, instead of thinking negative thoughts about yourself, you can choose, today no matter how weird it feels, I'm going to choose that I love myself. I'm lovable. I'm amazing. I'm capable. And start choosing these positive thoughts to start wiring in or weaving into your thought process about yourself. So there is no divine presence supporting me. I used to think this. I felt like I had to do everything on my own. I had no divine presence supporting me. And it got heavy trying to do things on my own, or trying to figure things out on my own. And I gave it up to God and said, God, you know everything that's going on. You can pull things together for me in my favor, or release things in my life that I don't need. And you see a bigger picture of my life that I, in my earthly sense, I'm not able to do, that you can do, and he can pave paths for us. So I started giving it up to God. When something became too emotionally complicated, I said, I'm letting it go. I'm letting God figure it out. My job is to keep doing the next right thing for me. And eventually, and it's so true. So many times God stepped in and put the good, guided me towards a path that was supporting me and leading me in the right direction. So the divine is, it's changing it to the divine is always with me. It's always supporting me and guiding me. And I call out to God, what do I do? What do I do? Sometimes I just have to wait on it a few days or a few weeks. But at some point the answer is given to me on what direction to take, how to make this decision, and what to do. And so I just, release it. It's really about a big release and not holding on to, I need to do this all myself. I need to figure out all these steps. And again, I used to do that, and it's super heavy to live in that control of trying to control every aspect. So there is number 4 is spiritual teachings are manipulative and untrue. When you've had so much like not good in your life, and maybe your upbringing was very negative, and so when you have a negative perspective, you look for things outside of yourself to back up that negative perspective, to make it true for you, and things will appear to back up that negative perspective. And so you may look at things with more of a critical eye and think that, spirituality is there to manipulate you or whatever. I used to kind of have this feeling a little bit because I had a sister who really came down on me hard, spiritual wise, and put a lot of fear into me, like if I don't do this, this is going to happen, so then I don't want anything to do with it. But then when I saw more of a positive perspective from somebody showing God to me, and I attached to that positive perspective, and I really started learning that it's not manipulative, but I have to not manipulate myself through negativity and allow good perspectives to come into my life, and allow that not everything is out there to manipulate me or trick me or do some type of untruth to me. And I had to change my mind gradually into there are good people out there who are good, want to be nice to me and good to me. There are people who want to show me good in my life, and I had to allow that into my life. And it's changing into spirituality is a journey of self-discovery that connects me to my authenticity. So allow things to come into you and guide you in a positive, authentic way, and not look at things so much with a critical eye, or that somebody's trying to do harm onto you. When you're connected to your selves, like your self-worth, self-love, all of those selves I talk about, you can discern better, and you have more discernment in deciding, this person, what they're saying, that's not really in alignment with what I want to, be on board with. This person's more in alignment. So you can choose better and better discernment if somebody is being manipulative, and when somebody is truly just out of the kindness of their heart wanting to share a teaching with you. Number 5 is surrendering, meaning giving up control. I was so in control of trying to control my surroundings to not be hurt. Like, I have to control this, and I have to know this, and before I do this, I have to know all of I have to know the outcome before it happened. And I never let things happen really organically. And I was always in so much mistrust of things. And so then when I started surrendering to God and saying, you take care of this, you can guide me, you're going to lead me in the right direction, and really start focusing on myself and my own positive relationship with myself and my self-worth and my self-trust, feeling like I'm deserving of good things in my life, feeling like I'm a valuable person and have good things to offer this world, then I was able to surrender more. And I said a little bit earlier, when I come into a tough situation, instead of trying to figure it all out, I go, let me step away for a few days, and I surrender it to God, and I allow Him to bring me guidance, to bring me decisions, to bring me things, people, saying something, situations into my life to help me make this decision. So surrendering is a huge thing when you're stuck in a really tough situation, and you may start ruminating over something, and it could be, a shame spiral where you're going down, and I feel bad about myself. You just go, I'm stopping and I'm surrendering this and I'm letting it go. If you have to make a really tough decision, you're going to go, I'm surrendering this, and I'm going to allow, these pieces of answers to come to me so I can make this decision very clearly and concisely. And 5 is, I am free and open to the possibilities of the present moment. And so surrendering is, I'm free to possibilities. Instead of being stuck on one way, it has to happen one way, I'm open to other possibilities of the way that things can happen to me, and allowing those possibilities to come into my life. in this moment right now. In this moment, I don't have to solve all of these issues, or I don't have to deal with this issue, the whole capacity of it right now. I can allow pieces of it to come into me in this moment. 6 is opening up spirituality will expose my weaknesses. Now that I used to think that if I, spirituality, if I'm vulnerable, if I'm loving, people are gonna see me as weak. Like, I used to think that weakness was to be loving and to myself. Meaning, if I'm too loving to myself, or I look at myself in too much of a positive way, I'm gonna open myself up to weakness. And somebody's gonna use that against me, which I don't believe that at all anymore. Nobody has the control to do anything to me. I'm in control of my own life, and being loving to myself and feeling worthy of myself. And if somebody is not being respecting to me or valuing me in a respectful manner, then I can stand up and say, that's not working for me, and step away from that person. And so we can turn that into a positive belief of, I am a co-creator of my life, embodying peace, love, and joy. And that is not a weakness, that is a strength to walk with love and peace and joy, and allow loving and peaceful, joyful people to come into my life. I don't have to be anchored by negative thoughts about myself. So that was a huge release for me. So thank you for being with me on this third part of this series about self-identity shaping. Be gentle with yourself along this journey with yourself. And for me, when I was on this journey a little bit, is I was, people would say, oh, be spiritual or do this. And I didn't have what does that mean? I had no idea what it looked like when I wasn't, or what it looked like when I am being positive about myself. The same with, our, entrepreneurial career. Like, I didn't know, what does it mean to think positively about my entrepreneurial career? And what does it mean to think, negative or positive? I didn't have anything to compare to. And when I was going along my journey figuring this out, I wanted specific examples. So I'm hoping that this specific examples helped you out. Share this video with somebody that you may think will enjoy it. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.